Hello, hello, come on in, brothers. Come on in, sisters. Got a short show tonight. Come on in, so we can get to it. Come on in. I apologize for running a little late tonight. I really apologize. But I'm here. I'm here, my brothers. I'm here, my sisters, to share something with you tonight. It's going to be very beneficial to you, especially you brothers, when it comes to how you're supposed to react and treat your woman. So come on in. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. Come on in. How you doing, Sister Elba? I see your John Hancock down there. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. How you doing, Sister Joanne Hill? Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sister. I'm not going to keep you that long. We're about to jump into this content. It's going to be very short tonight. Again, I apologize for running a little late. I'm sorry. But guess what? I'm in the house. So come on in. We're about to jump into this content. We got a few more seconds. Gonna see whether some more people gonna join the show. If not, I'm gonna go with what I got. Come on in. My brothers, my sisters, come on in. How you doing, my brothers and sisters out there? I hope that you all had a good week and a good weekend. We are at the beginning of a brand new week. Thank God we're here. We didn't have, God did not have to allow us to be here, but thank God He did. We could have been dead and gone, but the Lord had favor and He allowed us to be at this point. Welcome to the first day of the week, my brothers and sisters. How you doing? I hope that you all are doing very well. Me, myself, my name is Tony M. Tuma. If this is your first time looking at the broadcast and I talk about relationships, I talk about relationship of that a man and a woman from a biblical standpoint. When I say a biblical standpoint, that's what I talk about. God created the man first. He had a unique relationship with the man. Then He stepped to the side and He had a unique relationship with the woman. That's the type of relationship I'm talking about, the man being Adam and Eve, and that's how I look at it. But if you have any other alternative thing about relationship, my brother and sister, you have what is called a free will, so you can choose to do whatever you choose to do. But if you're looking at this content, I talk about the relationship between a man and a woman. With that said, we're going to get into the content tonight. The content tonight is a man should consider his woman's feelings, listen, then understand. I'm going to say that 2 more times. A man should consider his woman feelings, listen, then understand. Again, I'm going to say this the final time, and I hope this could get into the minds of some of you brothers out there. A man should consider his woman's feelings, listen, then understand. If you don't mind, my brother, so you can come a little closer. We got some more seats out there in the front. Come on a little closer, so you can hear this content. It's going to be very good tonight. And brothers, do listen. Now, with that said, brothers, listen carefully. Sisters, all you have to do right now is just chew on your popcorn, enjoy the show, because it's about you all. A man should always be mindful to approach his woman by, number one, her feelings. Everybody have feelings, but mostly a man, when you approach a woman, number one, you need to focus on her feelings. After you focus on the woman's feeling, brothers, you're supposed to then, in turn, listen to her. When I said listen to her, I'm not saying hear her. I mean listen to her. Then the third thing a brother should do, you should try to understand her point of view. So when it comes to a relationship, my brothers and sisters, always remember, brothers, be mindful to approach that woman from her feelings. Then you listen to her. Don't hear her, listen. Then try to understand her point of view. Now, let's go to what 1 Peter say. 1 Peter chapter 3:7. That's again 1 Peter chapter 3:7. It states, husband, in the same way be considerate as you live with your wives. This including you brothers that are about to get married. How you doing, Sister Sheriff? Those brothers that are about to get married and those of you that are already married, remember in 1 Peter chapter 3:7 it said, husband, in the same way be considered as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker vessel, and as hairs with you as the gracious life, with a gift of light, so that nothing will hinder your prayer. Now, the weaker vessel, brother, check this out. The weaker vessel referred to a woman's fall by virtue of her being deceived by Satan. And sometimes women are deceived in other ways that cause them to be weak. And all this started at the beginning of time when we're talking about the story of Adam and Eve. Now, when we go back to the word being deceived, we're going to go to 1 Timothy chapter 2:14. As it is written in 1 Timothy 2:14, that chapter 2:14 said, and Adam was not the one deceived. It was the woman who was deceived and became the sinner. So Satan somewhat hoodwinked the man. So at the beginning of time, before a woman and a man fell from that perfect relationship from God, God had told the man Adam about his responsibility to do this and everything, and he gave Adam one thing that he should not do, and he told Adam, don't eat from the knowledge of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And more than likely, Anna transferred that information to Eve, because when Eve was having a conversation with the serpent, she dialogued and told the serpent that God told her don't eat neither or touch that tree, right? So that's what Eve told the serpent. But as you know, again in 1 Timothy chapter 2:14, it said, and Adam was not deceived. That means that Adam was not fooled. How you doing, Sister Flo? Adam was not fooled. He knew exactly what he was doing, but the woman, she was deceived. So after the man and woman fell from the grace of God at that particular time, God still did not want let the man and woman go. He was making a way to restore the relationship back with him and the man and the woman, called the most precious relationship at first with that man and God and that man, and especially that man and woman are married together. God want a relationship with that man and woman collectively and together, because they one flesh. Now, as you know, God made a provision for that man and woman to come back to him in the process of time. So when I said the process of time, God had it fixed where Jesus Christ was going to come into this world and reconcile the world back to God through his son, Jesus Christ. Now, again, number one, how you doing, Sister Cheryl Smith? Number one, brother, we're going to talk about the feeling part. Those of you that are coming in tonight, tonight's topic is a man should consider his woman's feelings, listen, then understand. Now we're going to talk about the number one thing first, brothers. Brothers, your woman, you got to understand this, brother. Your woman, as well as you, she has a soul. And her soul is composed of the mind, the will, and the emotion, as you do, my brothers and sisters. Those of you that come in, go ahead and get your bag of popcorn and soda, courtesy of Sister Flo Harvey Martin. However, just think about this, my brothers and sisters. Thank you, Cheryl. How you doing, Cheryl Smith? Again, brothers, your woman has a mind, will, and emotion as you do. However, she operates mostly on her feelings at the moment. As you notice, my brothers, when you conversate with a woman, most of the time, she's going to say something about her feelings. You know, she most of the time, it's normal to hear something about her feelings if you listen to her. When you first walk up on a woman, brother, you got to understand this. You have a soul, but most of the time, brother, you operate mostly on the mind, the will, and the emotion. You got the same thing that the woman had, but her nature is different. She had the same thing, but you flip it around. Most so, the woman operates her feeling, will, then the mind. The will is in the middle part, because the will part is the decision-making part of the soul, basically. Because you got that between the mind and the emotion. The mind being the analytical part, and the emotion, that's where the feelings are at, the heart. So, brother, when you approach a woman, when it comes to her feeling, brother, you have to approach that woman not in a heady manner. When I say heady manner, not analytical. When you approach your woman, brother, you have to approach her. You have to listen to a woman with your heart. Now, some of you say, how can you listen to the woman with her heart? Brother, you have to be very sensitive to her, and you got to understand, like I have said on some of my earlier broadcasts, when you deal with a woman, brother, you cannot talk to her like she's a man. She's not a man. She's a woman, and she deal differently. She talk differently, and she see things differently than we brothers. A lot of you brothers, you get somewhat confused because you think that why she can't see what I'm talking about. She has a perspective, brother, and she have a point of view. So that's why, brother, when you go to in front of your woman, she comes in front of you, you have to be in a state where you're using your heart more than your analytics. And how are you able to do that? The only way, brother, you can really understand a lot about the wife is still go back to the origin. The origin is whether or not you got to ask yourself the question, brother, does the Lord Jesus live in you? And the only way you can really understand your woman, brother, these are for brothers, these are for those of you that are serious about a woman, you have commit to it, and you planning on getting married to the woman. And I'm also talking to you, brother, that are already married. I'm not talking to the playboys. I'm not talking to no playboys. I'm not talking to no men's that out there hoodwinking women, just trying to extract sex or research from the woman. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you brothers that you see this woman as being your helpmeet. I'm talking about you serious thinking brothers. That's what I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the brothers that aren't serious about a relationship. I'm not talking to the brothers that aren't interested in a committed relationship. I'm not talking to the brothers that are not headed toward or saying I do to that woman in a short period of time, or you already are married to the woman. Again, when it comes to that woman, brother, you have to try to, per se, put yourself in her place. You have to put yourself in her place. When she comes to you, you go to her, you just got to see her from her point of view. Now, you're not a woman, and she's not a man. That's why you have to have the Lord in you so he can communicate with your soul, and because he created that woman that he brought into your life. So when the Lord brought this woman into your life, when he calls you to find her, he did all the layer work for you. You, for some reason, you did what you were supposed to do, and it wasn't your work. So the Lord seemed fit that it's time for you to have a woman. Now, since the Lord bring this woman in front of you, because it say that the man was not created for the woman, but the woman was created for the man. So when the Lord bring the woman to you, the Lord is giving this woman over to you, brother, because now you are responsible for her. And the Lord wants you to deal with this woman in a tender, loving manner. That's why you have to you have to approach that woman from an emotional standpoint, not analytic. This, which leads to number 2. You have to listen to her with your heart, not your mind. I had touched on that a little on number 1. You have to listen to her with your heart, than your mind. As it is written in John 1:19. Again, as it is written in John 1:19. This goes for anyone, any of you brothers that you have an encounter with a woman. You got to understand that James 1:19 say, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. That's a universal thing when you're listening to someone, brothers, and sisters, when you're listening to someone. So the universal thing in James 1:19, James 1:19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, this is the first thing you do. It said, be swift to hear. You saw what it's saying, that it means to listen to a brother. It means to listen and be quiet. Listen, 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 be quiet. Then the next part of it said, be slow to speak. That means you do not interrupt her, because this is part of communication. When you are listening to your woman, brother, she is communicating her feelings to you. She's communicating her feelings, so you have to pay close attention. You have to focus on it. If you got something on TV, you're going to have to turn that TV down or whatever, especially if it's very important, because you got to focus on that woman. The woman is the most important thing in your life outside the Lord. So sports and all that kind of stuff. I love sports and all that kind of stuff, but if my wife come in front of me and she need to talk right then, that sports stuff and everything else going to have to come after her. So, brother, you all going to have to get to the point where when your woman, is she going through something, because a lot of times she will prefer to talk to you than talk to her girlfriends, her mama, or anybody else. A lot of them kind of talk to you. Because I can tell you this, brother, it's a lot of women that when I do consultation, when I do consultation, it's more women that call me and want to talk to me about you all, whereas they should be talking to you. But a lot of women, they say he don't want to listen to me. He wants to cut me off and stuff. So what I'm telling you, brother, when it comes to communication, you have to be a good listener. When you listen, brother, you do not listen to respond. You listen with your heart so you can see exactly where she's coming from. And while you listening to her, you don't be trying to problem solve for her. Because a lot of times your woman, brother, she just want to be listened to. Just believe me or not, brother, sometimes they just want you to listen to them without you solving anything. And a lot of times, brother, if you notice that when you communicate with your woman, when you listen to her, a lot of times you don't have to be that verbal with her, because most of the time women are more talkative anyway than we are anyway, brother. So you listen intensely to her. While you listening to her, brother, if you got your cell phone in your hand, put that cell phone down. Like I said, if you're looking at TV, turn that volume down. Whatever distraction, brother, focus on that woman. You focus on that woman secondary to how you will focus on God. Because when you have a communication with God, you have to spend time with God. It has to be a one-on-one situation. So second after that, brother, the second most important relationship or thing in your life is your relationship to your woman. And when I say your woman, preferably you getting married to this woman in a short period of time, or you already married to her. Like I said, I'm not talking to the playboy. Playboys don't know how to listen to women, because playboys aren't interested in listening. Playboys are more interested in extracting something from a woman. So, sister, when you get with a man, you need to get with a man. First of all, you need to check out when you're talking to the man, is he a good listener? If this man talks so much, if this man cuts you off, if this man about me, myself, and I, that man is not a good fit for you. Now, brother, when it comes to your woman, those of you that are coming in, tonight's broadcast is about a man should consider his woman's feelings, listen, and then understand, okay? Listen, a man should consider his woman's feelings, her feelings, then he's listened to her, and then understand. How you doing, Sister Murray? Now, again, for those of you that are coming in, I just said the first thing I went over the feeling. I give you a small recap. When a man, how you doing, Sister Mary Jane? When the brothers approach a woman, I stated that he should approach the woman from listening to her with his heart. What I mean, he have to have understand, okay, this person I'm talking to, she's not a man. This person is a woman. She goes by her feeling. She's not going by the analytics. The analytics come after her feelings. Because that's why I said most women say, I did it because I felt this way. You made me feel this way. They always talk about their feeling. And it's just not about words coming out of their mouth. They actually talking about their feeling, because that's how they operate. That's why a lot of women, they do things at the moment. When you ask some women why they do things, they do it because at the moment, how they feel. The analytical part comes afterwards. So, bro, you got to understand, stop scratching your head and say, why did you do that? Why you didn't think that way? They don't operate it like us, brother. That's why, brother, you got to understand, because going back to 1 Peter 3:7, in part of it said, you have to treat them with respect as the weaker partner. Why you have to treat them with respect? Because the woman failed by virtue when she was deceived by Satan. That's why God reorganized it, and he put you, brother, as the head. Before that, he had the woman and the man working together equally. Even though he created Adam first, he created Eve before they fell. The man and the woman, they would have dual responsibility together. That was to reproduce, and it was also to have dominion. When they fell, God reorganized that thing. That's when he put the man at the head. You understand how you doing, Sister Kitty? He put the man at the head at that particular time. So that's what happened. Brother, when when a woman is the weaker vessel, it does not mean that she's stupid. It does not mean that she's slow. It doesn't mean that she can't get it. It doesn't mean that. It means that God put it that way for this time. And so you got to understand, brother, when you look at her, you got to understand, you got to be sensitive to her because she's the weaker partner. And I have gave this example before. I'm going to tell you, this is just an example. When you go to, this is just an example. Just try it out. Brother and sister, just go to a car lot. Go to a car lot and talk about buying a car. And this is what's going to happen. Most salespeople, they're going to focus more on the woman. Why are they going to focus more on the woman? Because they want the woman to get emotionally tied to the vehicle. Brother, why are you standing there or sitting there thinking about the maintenance part of the car? You might be thinking about the insurance, the monthly payments. They thinking they're trying to sell the woman on the idea of see how you look in that car. And then if you're a hard sale, brother, they want to work on you. That's why some of you, if you got pretty decent credit, they want you to keep the car. Why do they want you to keep the car? They want you to start getting attached to it. And that's why they focus more on the woman. You understand? The feeling part. That's why, brother, you are assigned to be the head and the leader of the relationship. You supposed to be, that's why you're the analytical part of the relationship. The woman is the heart. When it comes to the home, the man is the head of the home and the woman is the heart of the home. You understand that, brother? The woman is the heart of the home. And going back to the communication part, how you listen to her, like I said, you listen to that woman with your heart, with your emotion, brother. She's not a man. You listen to her with a heart. You listen intensely. Then you respond in a slow way. What do I mean by a slow way? I'm not saying like if she say, just a hypothetical. What do you want? What do you want for dinner? I want a steak. It doesn't mean talk that way in a slow motion. It means that when you talk to a brother, you have to process those words that coming out of your mouth. That's why it said be slow to speak. So you process what you're about to say so it can come out in a graceful way where you're not trying to tear down. You have to process your word, and you got to be very selective on the words you use when you communicate back to that woman after she allowed you to speak. If she wants you to say something, because like I said, a lot of times they just want you to listen and just be there for support. But if they come to you for advice, you, brother, if you even see that she done made a mistake, Eve made a mistake. If you see that she have made a mistake, don't say nothing like that. Why? That's so stupid. Why you do that? Don't say that to her. If she does something, she already feel bad, so you don't need to put no more, make her feel bad about saying stupid words to her. No, what you do, brother, even though she might make error like you are going to make an error, you lift her up. When you talk to her, you still lift her up so she could feel good, and then you all could fix that thing. And then a lot of times when you are responding in a grateful way to your woman, brother, because like I say, she will prefer to come to you than to go talk to anybody else. And that's why some of you, brother, you be wondering why you be on the last part of when your woman talk to you, because she feels like she can't talk to you. That's why she go talk to other people, because she feel, you don't want her to feel that way. I could tell you this, brother, from experience. It feels so good when, I know this firsthand, it feels so good when your woman come and she open up and talk to you. Where she feel comfortable talking to you. Before she go talking to anyone else except for the Lord. Or her girlfriends or her family. It feels so good. I know that firsthand. So, brother, I'm trying to tell you something. Be slow to speak. When you talk to her in an edifying way where she still feel good, even if she could have had a bad day. You went to work or whatever, and you come in, she had a bad day. And if you know your woman, brother, if you have a talkative woman, and you come home, and you are accustomed to her smiling and saying how your day and everything, but when you come home and she's not that chippy how she normally do, if you know your woman, you could tell right off that something is have gone wrong. So what you do is, if she's not that chippy, if she say, if she give you a dry, I'm doing okay, then what you say, you could say something like, well, is it something that you need to talk about? And if she say no, when she say no, bro, let me tell you something. A lot of time when women say no, they don't want to talk. They do want to talk. A lot of time they want to see, do you care about them? Some women just do like that. And if you literally take a woman saying nothing is wrong, brother, and then later on she come to you, want to talk, and then she said you don't care, that's because, brother, you use your mind. That's why I said listen to a woman with your heart. Don't listen to her with your analytics. If you come home and that woman say, like I said, if she's a chippy individual and she mostly happy, but if she come home and she's somewhat dry, and you say, what's wrong? And she said nothing, and then don't literally take it. You got to be able to read between the lines. So what you say in your mind is, okay, if it's something that you need to talk about, come to me. If you feel like talking to me, come. Because now you opening up a door. And while you open up a door, she see that you care for her. But brother, believe me, don't talk to her like a man. Because like you go up to a man and you say, hey, bro, anything wrong? He might say, no, nothing ain't wrong. Then he might leave it like that. That's how men do it. We internalize things. But that's a woman now. That's why I said don't operate with her like she's a man. Listen to her, and then, brother, if she got a problem, when you ask her, is anything wrong, and you know your woman, and you know something wrong, don't drill her at that time because she's not ready to talk. What you do is say, if it's something that you need to talk about, we could talk about it later. And then you go on with your day. And if she still don't bring it up, then what you do, brother, you come back to her. Come back to her and say something like, baby, I know earlier when I came home, I asked you, was anything wrong? And I told you, I told you if you need to talk to me, you could talk to me. So I gave you some space. Now I'm coming back. If it's something that you need to talk about, let's talk. Or sometimes, brother, before you get into that, let me tell you another thing what you could do, brother. Before you go into that presentation with her, wherever she at, what you do is you give her some time and you go wherever she's at. Wherever she's at, and she's accustomed to you touching her, what you do, brother, you go where she at. You grab her by the hand, softly grab her by the hand. Don't do it in an aggressive way. You softly grab her by the hand and say, follow me for a moment. And more than likely, she's going to follow you. She's not going to put in no resentment. She's not going to resent you, okay? She's not going to restrain from, if you're the leader, she's not going to restrain from it. So once you get her hand, brother, you take her into a comfortable environment. You sit her down. You look in her eyes and say, go ahead and talk. Go ahead and say what you got to say. I'm here for you. And more than likely, she's going to start talking. Because not only did you come back, she see that you care for her, because without you saying anything, you went and grabbed her hand and you pull her into a comfortable environment. Now she could talk. If you have children, do something with the children, so it won't be no distraction. Cut those TVs off, those cell phones off, because now it's all about her. So once you get her by the hand, take her into a comfortable environment in the home, then you sit down and say, I'm here. Go ahead and tell me what you got to say. You just don't know, brother. A lot of time, your woman will see that you care for her, and she will more than likely be inclined to talk. Now, this is another part from James 1:19. It say, wherefore, my dear brother, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. Now, this is another key thing. Slow to wrath. Don't get pissed off too quick, brother. Let's say that she did something. Like you gonna fall sometime. Let's say that she have done something, okay? Mm-hmm. And so she don't know how to talk to you, but now you got her in this environment, and now she's compelled to talk to you. So if she does something that she shouldn't have done, like I said, be careful how you talk to her, because you still want her to feel edified. She already feel bad, especially if it's something that she know that you probably would be angry. You could be angry, brother, but it's a way how you be angry, okay? You be slow to wrath. Let's say, for example, this just a hypothetical. Just a hypothetical. Let's say that just a hypothetical. Just let's say that you gave you and her, y'all got your money together, right? Let's say that she was supposed to go get groceries. This is just a hypothetical. She's supposed to go get groceries, and you got a y'all have a budget on the groceries, okay? Let's say that she overspend what you have agreed to, okay? She overspend what you agreed to, and she want to tell you she overspent. Now, this is no green light, sister, for you to overspend. I'm just giving an example. So she know that you all had a budget, okay? When she tell you, I have overspent, don't jump on her right then. Don't just say, didn't we just talk about that and all that kind of stuff? You just say something like, okay, you overspent this time. Okay, in the future, don't do it. In the future, just don't do it. Because you got to understand it, brother. When you fall and sin sometime, you go to God and pray. And when you go to God and pray, you don't want God to say, I told you this, I told you that. No, what God does? God is just like a prodigal. Because, brother, sometimes you get off point and you go and make a debt towards God, meaning you sin. Then you go and talk to God in prayer. You don't want God to hammer you and say, I'm going to send you to hell and all that kind of stuff. And God is not going to call you stupid or none of that kind of stuff. God is not going to do that. God wants you to come. God wants you to confess. And God wants you to get it right. And that's the same thing how you do your woman, brother. She come to confess that she overspent. And you just say, look, don't do it no more. We can get through this, but don't make this no habit. And then if you got a good woman, brother, she's going to appreciate that. And she's going to, more than likely, she won't do it no more. I said more than likely. I ain't say that she won't, but I just give you an example. And the final thing, after you think about, know that she operate her feeling and you listen to her, now you have to try to understand her point of view. This goes back to her feeling. Now we're going back to 1 Peter 3. It say, husband, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wife and treat them with respect as the weaker partner. Keep in mind she's the weaker partner. And so we're going to start right there. What this means, husband, and those of you that are about to get married, the Bible clearly commands the husband to live with his wife in an understanding way. Brother, if you can't live with a woman in an understanding way, those of you that married, you have to live with your woman in an understanding way. Because some of you brother, you married to a woman that got a menstrual cycle. And as you know, when some of them had a menstrual cycles, it affect their moods and stuff. It does. And some of them don't. Some of them could be going through hot flashes and all kinds of stuff they could be going through. But you got to understand, you got to treat her in an understanding way. Because the Bible clearly commands you, husband, and those of you that are about to get married, you got to deal with that woman in an understanding way. And when you deal with her in an understanding way, brother, you got to understand your wife is a priority. She's not a project. So she is a human. She's subject to make mistakes. She's subject to fall on her face. You are subject to make mistakes, brother. You're subject to make, and you're a priority, and you're not a project for her. So you got to understand, you're dealing with a living woman. She's not a robot. You can't program her. You can't program her, brother. She's a living vessel like you's a living vessel. So treat her in high regard. If you give that woman love, brother, and how do you give a love? You have to decide to love her. You see, love is not about your emotion at this point, brother. You have to decide in your mind, I'm going to love her. And when you decide to love her, you got to love her just like the Lord loved you, brother. You got to follow the Lord's example. So you got to decide, I love her. And when you decide to love her, you got to say, I'm going to protect her. You decided now. Then you got to say, I'm going to provide for her. I'm going to love her even if it costs my life. And the feelings come after your decision. You see, brother, when it comes to a woman, you are analytical. Your analytics as far as your leadership, you have to be analytical when you're running your home, brother, okay? Because God holds you responsible. So you have to use your analytics when it comes to your woman. Because when it comes between you and God, if you understand this, God wants you to go. A lot of time, brothers and sisters, when you go by your feeling, you can go wrong. So you have to sometimes use your analytics when it comes to a relationship. How you doing, Sister Pamela? How you doing, Sister Kitty and Mary and the rest of you all who I spoke to earlier? So, brother, when it comes to your woman, always keep in mind, I got to think about her feelings. I don't want to hurt her. After I think about her feelings, I don't want to hurt her. I need to listen to her. I just don't want to hear her. While I'm listening to her, I'm trying to understand where she's coming from. Even though she could have did something that I don't like, I cannot call her by names because I still want her to be able to come to me after this, because like all storms in a relationship, brothers and sisters, like all storms are temporary. It could come down hard now, because as you know, my brother and sister, when it comes to storms in a relationship, you're either going into the storm, you are in the storm, or you coming out. So when it comes to a relationship, my brother and sister, always remember the sun does shine. The sun never stops shining. Some people say the sun ain't shining today. The sun always shines. The only thing what happens is clouds block the rays. The sun never goes nowhere. The sun is always there. It's just the cloudy part, and that's how your relationship is. You got to remember, brothers and sisters, the good part represent the sun. It's always there. The only thing that block the rays is the clouds. And guess what happened? Once the clouds release that rain and you go through all that thunder and everything, you, brother and you sister, a lot of time when you look back at some things that go in your relationship, you could see when you look back at it, it really wasn't that much. Now, at that time of the storm, it appears like it was something. But overall, my brother, love your woman. Love her, protect her, provide, and if possible, lay your life down for her. Again, brother, you should consider, that's the key word, brother. Consider her feelings, consider listening to her, and consider understanding her. And with that said, my brother and sister, I hope that you all got something out of it. I love you, my brothers. I love you, my sisters. Thank you so much for being here tonight, brothers. If you consider your wives and or the woman that you're about to marry feelings, if you consider listening and you consider trying to understand a brother, you can have a good relationship. Deal with her as your woman. Don't deal with her with different women. Don't deal with her as a man. Deal with her as the number 2 person in your life. The Lord is first, that woman is number 2. I remember she's number 2 after the Lord. Nobody else is nothing but the Lord precedes your woman. So be good to her, brother. All right? Peace out.